Tiritiri again after all these years. We left here in 1936 to go to Auckland to live, as we were all the children, all the family were growing up. And I've been back once about 20 years ago, but I couldn't get over the growth of the trees, and it's absolutely wonderful to think all the bird life and the growth around the place is quite overwhelming. We had a wonderful life as children, living here for 8 years, and we had huts and in trees, and we had special caves that we used to go and visit and cook mussels on the beach, and we had the most wonderful childhood. I feel sorry for a lot of the children who live in towns. They miss out so much, which goes to make you independent. And it's been absolutely wonderful to come back, just to see the island again and to meet all the people conservation conscious. It's absolutely wonderful. And I can't get over the growth of the trees, because it was completely bare and there was just cattle running. 1928, and there were a family of 6 of us, 3 girls and 3 boys, and we left again in 1936 to go to Auckland to live, because although we were having correspondence school, it was getting up towards the secondary education, and for my brothers to go to secondary school. Looking back, it's been absolutely a wonderful childhood that we had.
Did you have a lot of other children here?
There was a Mr. and Mrs. Lyons. They had no family, and a Mr. and Mrs. Davis. They had 2 daughters, and there were 6 of us children, or 5 for a while, and my sister Betty was a late comer. Right. And we had correspondence school. And I was 12 when we went to Auckland, and of course, living on the island, we had our own chooks and cow, and when I went to town, it was just after the Depression years, and all the children were very stunted and half grown, and we felt like giants going into the classrooms. And my brother was 6'2", and he was only 14. He went away to sea. He went on an overseas boat and went away to America, and when his boat sailed out, my mother said, "I'll never see him again," and she never ever saw him again, and he was her favourite son. And my other brother joined the Air Force, and there was my sister and another brother, and we lived in Auckland with Mum and Dad. Dad worked on the Queen's Wharf in Auckland. But we had a wonderful childhood here on the island.
You ever wished when you were back in the city that you'd come back to the island?
Often. I've been back twice since 1936. And it's been absolutely wonderful. And to see all the secondary growth and the bird life, it's just fantastic. In farmland, and Mr. Hobbs, the whole of that side of the island, from just below this tree line, it was all cattle, run on cattle, and the harbour board had part of the island fenced off going down towards the wharf, and we had our own house cows, but there was hardly any trees at all, just the trees in the gullies. So it's really quite fantastic to see it all growing up now. I couldn't believe it when I came back last time, and this time it's just absolutely amazed me how quickly the growth has come away.
So which of the houses did you live in?
We lived in the bottom house.
In the bunkhouse?
Yes, down the bunkhouse, what they call it.
The bunkhouse
now. And there was a family, Mr. Davis, he was the second keeper. He had 2 daughters, and they lived here in this house. And there was another house built over by the cliff, just the other side of the lighthouse. And that's where the head keeper lived.
Okay.
But I believe they pushed it over the edge because it was built too close to the end.
Okay.
And then there was an old house which was built originally when Tiri was first settled, and it had 4 or 5 bedrooms in it, and we used to play in it as kids. Play ghosts in it, on cold and wet days. and the screams and yells emanating from that. I think you could have heard them up in Silverdale. And we had a wonderful life as children.
Right.
Huts and trees, and there was a big plantation here. And we'd go to get boards and take the boards up into the trees and make platforms into in the pine trees. We had the most fantastic imaginations.
So you did a lot of fishing and swimming?
Yes, we used to go fishing and swimming.
Yep.
Swimming in the nude.
Of course.
Go round the rocks. I had my eldest brother Alf and Reg, and then there was me, and then there was my eldest sister. She was the eldest of the family. There was Pat, Alf, Reg, me, and then a few years back there was David, and another 7 or 8 years back was Betty. So only Betty and me and David. One boy went to America. You don't sort of think about your parents much until you become parents yourself, do you?
That's real. So have any of your children been out there?
I have 2 sons. I lost my eldest son, died when he was 50.
Yeah.
And I've got one son who lives in Wanaka.
Yeah.
And he is now 70. That's my baby.
Yeah.
I was born in Newport. Dad was in the Navy, and after he left the Navy in England, he came out to New Zealand and brought Mummy. And my eldest sister and brother were born in England, and the rest of us were born in Devonport. Dad joined the Harbour Board, and we came here to live in. I was born in 1923. I was about 6 or 7 when I came here. Yes, the years soon go, don't they? Yes.
And you would notice coming out on the boat today, a nice high-speed ferry against what we used to come out in?
Yes, that's right. Yes, we used to take an hour and a half to come from Auckland,
Right.
from Queen's Wharf down to, we'd say the boat's leaving, boat's just left. Dad would get a message on the radio to say the boat had just left Queen's Wharf.
Yes. So you see today that notice that all the lot of birds on the island now. And when you were living here, were there any birds at all?
There was clumps of bush in the gullies, but Mr. Hobbs ran cattle on that more than half of the island, and there were just a few trees and a little clumps of bush in the gullies, and that's all the birds there was. So it's absolutely marvellous now to see the bird life.
Right.
It's fantastic. Of course, I'm a great conservationist myself.
Yes, I know they've done a wonderful job, haven't they?
Oh, I think it's been marvellous. And I think Tiri is really something to be terribly proud of.
You must feel really
I do feel
proud
proud of it when I look at it now and I see all the
exactly.
trees.
Yeah.
Because it was all just bare hill,
Yeah.
you know, so it's just absolutely wonderful. But then I realised, well, it's about 50 years. It must be, you see. So
Yeah. At least they've managed it. It's beautiful now, isn't
and
it?
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I hope it'll always be kept this way. Remember when they brought the new foghorn down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and because before they had the gunpowder one.
We had the gunpowder one.
Do you remember the
And
gunpowder?
every time it used to go off, the cattle would go mad.
The gunpowder?
The gunpowder one, yes, the cows would go, they'd rush off and herd together.